I see my name in shining lights. Yeah, a different city every night. Oh, I swear the world better prepare for when I'm a billionaire.
It's time to get down to business on the weekend's #1 business program. Known as the King of Networking, your host, Shalom Klein, has worked with thousands of entrepreneurs and created countless jobs. So, to success, let's get down to business.
And indeed, we're all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship in business. We talk a lot about business here. You're on with Get Down to Business, and I'm your host, Shalom Klein. Remember, you can always download podcasts from Get Down to Business on my website at shalomklein.com. And while you're there, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Shalom Klein. It's going to be a jam-packed week of content and information you will not want to miss. So let's jump right in. I am thrilled, ecstatic actually, to be joined by Brent Bowers, the coach of the Land Sharks with Wholesaling Inc. And Brent is an investor and coach with a focus on buying and selling vacant land. Sounds easy enough, but I know Brent has been spending quite a bit of time of building this and is very, very passionate about teaching this for other folks. Brent Bowers, welcome to the program.
All right, get down to business. Let's go.
Absolutely. I love to get to know the person behind the microphone, Brent. You and I were just talking offline, so hearing a little bit about your service in the military. Thank you for that. But, you know, how did you go from just a regular dude to an Army officer to now the subject matter expert buying and selling vacant land and inspiring others to do the same?
You know, we run from problems or we run towards pleasure. I was the guy running away from a problem, and that was, I joined the military in 2009 after the real estate market. I kind of got crushed in it, and, things happened for us, not to us, and I look at that as a great experience during that meltdown 2008. But I joined the military October 2009. Went to basic, then AIT training, then straight to Germany, and then about a month later in Afghanistan. And my first marriage pretty much fell apart because I was gone all the time in the military. Just like you, Shalom, you're deployed right now, and I appreciate your service. But I just kind of was going through that process. It crushed me. That was like the worst thing that ever could have happened to me. And then the Army allowed me a green to gold opportunity where they basically take a couple hundred active duty soldiers each year and allow us to go through Reserve Officer Training Corps program, college. Basically, I was paid to go to college for about 2 years. I met my current wife there while I was in college, and we got married very quickly and then had our first baby very quickly. And then I was pretty much out of training and back in the saddle as a brand new second lieutenant. And I was back to working like 13, 14-hour days, preparing for another deployment, and history was repeating itself. Always gone, always away, always training, always deploying. So I knew I needed to do something a little different because now I saw myself as a family man. I wanted to be around to, see my wife each night, see my newborn son each night, and I knew I had to figure out a way to get out of the Army. So I did it with real estate investing, and my niche of real estate investing is land, vacant, raw land with no improvements.
Awesome. Amazing. So my takeaway over here is join the Army, and, life goes up and down, but certainly it's helped you find yourself as well, which is awesome. And I know that in a pretty short amount of time, you've expanded your business, hired a team, and I know you talk about this frequently, most importantly, spending quality time with your family. So what should our listeners know other than when they drive down the highway and they see vacant land? And they're usually like, oh, wow, more vacant land. What should people know about this space that gets you excited to wake up every morning, keeps you up maybe a little bit at night as well?
Yeah, it's definitely an untapped, we call it the blue ocean strategy. There is so much vacant raw land in the United States. And a lot of this I started doing actually virtually because I was in the field training, and I would send out some letters to vacant land owners that were, behind on their taxes. We call it the tax delinquent list. And I would send them a letter, a very simple letter saying, hey, I'd like to buy your land at 123 Main Street. If you're interested in an all cash fair price offer, call me or text me. And I would get the calls and the texts, and I would return them during if I had a break or a lunch break or on the weekend when I had some time. And I would figure out what these people were looking to get out of their land. and I would try and get it at the biggest discount possible. I would get it under contract, and then I would start shopping for a buyer on places like Craigslist and, signs on the side of the road and Facebook Marketplace and Facebook buy-sell groups, free ways to sell it. So I would line my buyer up before I would even purchase this land. And most people look at vacant raw land and they don't even look twice at it because there's no house to flip. There's not an HGTV show about flipping raw dirt. And there's nothing sexy about it, but it's just completely untapped because most people don't see a way to make money with it. And how I've made money with it is I buy it at such a discount and I turn around and find someone that wants to pay me a little bit more than what I paid for it, either by basically assigning my contract, selling my contract for it, or I just buy it with some cash and get a down payment from my buyer to hopefully cover what I've got into the land and then get monthly payments. That's how I was able to get out of the military. I had to make about $5,000 a month back then to cover all expenses. And it took me almost 9.5 months to get to $9,000 a month. And that was my release from the golden handcuffs. It was the release from the carrot, type, the horse or the goat that's always walking towards the carrot. I was able to get out of that because my expenses were covered. I was financially free. And it gave me the opportunity to think about other things in life, like not money.
Sure.
What else is there about life? Like to spend time with our friends and our family and, help other people in the world.
So practically speaking, Brent, who is the profile of the ideal candidate to get into this, call it investment opportunity that I know you're so passionate about?
I say entrepreneurs. I've been an entrepreneur since I was a little kid. After the hurricanes in Florida, the Miami-Dade hurricanes back in 1992, Hurricane Andrew, my grandmother had allowed us to use one of her weather radio. And after that hurricane, we no longer needed that weather radio. So I went door to door to sell it. So anybody like that's an entrepreneur that's looking to build a business that serves them and their families and others. Because I didn't get into this business to have another job. I already had a job. I was looking for a business to serve me, to provide me income. Some people call it a side hustle. That's what it was in the beginning. But I knew that I didn't need that income for about 3 years because I still had that on my contract with the military. So I just built it for about 3 years until I was able to comfortably live on it and quit my job or get out of the military.
Absolutely. That's amazing. And so talk a little bit more about your work in this space directly. I know that you are now a coach and advisor, like I said, a subject matter expert. You've now hired a team. Certainly gone beyond those initial, I think you said $4,000 that you were hoping to make to cover your expenses. But where are you investing, and where do you see the greatest opportunity in the United States over the coming years?
There's a lot of great states that people are moving into. If you just Google the North American migration map, you could see where Americans are moving out of and moving into places like Florida and Texas and those North Carolina, South Carolina. People are flooding into those states. Those are some of my best states right now in buying and selling land. But I started out in my own backyard doing real estate deals because there's land all over. You don't have to go virtual right away. And to answer the first part of your question, I put out a YouTube video every single day of the week, Monday through Friday, talking about land investing and what I do. If you just go to YouTube and search Brent Bowers, subscribe to that channel. I appreciate it if you do. And I teach you a lot of my methods, like a lot of the stuff that I'm doing and teaching other students to create businesses where, some of my students have made $1 million in the last 12 months off of vacant raw land alone.
That's awesome. And we're running out of time, and I want to squeeze in one more question, perhaps the most important question of all, to the entrepreneurs that are listening now, wherever they are in the world. You are an entrepreneur. You have built a team. What is the one, perhaps mistake that you've made that you wouldn't want somebody else to make, or the one bit of advice that you've received that you want to share with all of our listeners?
Just trying to do everything, not finding someone to kind of help me sooner in the beginning. Not making that love-loathe list. The things I love, I should keep doing, but the things that just drain my batteries in the beginning, I thought I had to do it myself because I couldn't afford to pay someone. But it was that thought of thinking I had to pay someone to do it that people are willing to jump on board a moving train. So there was people out there that were willing to help me and share on the profits in the very beginning a lot faster than what I actually hired. So just start helping people, bringing people on board that can help you, do what you do best and find other people to help you out with the rest.
I love that. I love that so much. Again, we've been chatting with Brent Bowers. We've been chatting all about entrepreneurship, about lifestyle, and certainly about investment in vacant land all over the country. But Brent, how can we get in touch with you if you want to learn more and see those awesome videos that you're putting out?
Yeah, go to YouTube, search Brent Bowers. I'm also on Instagram, Brent L. Bowers.
That's fantastic. Well, we'll definitely check that out. We'll definitely link from our pages and definitely stay in touch. And I certainly know that we will be hearing a lot more from you, my friend. Again, Brent Bowers, definitely look him up. He pops up all over online, but we got to squeeze in a very quick break here on the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. Go to my website anytime, shalomklein.com. We've got a lot more content, a lot more information for you. So don't touch that dial. We'll be right back.